Imagine walking into an old quiet church and suddenly feeling a cold chill, as if someone or something is watching you from the shadows. The air seems heavier, and you might hear faint whispers that don't seem to come from anyone around. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. As we all know, churches are places of peace, refuge, and divine connection. But what happens when the past refuses to rest and the peaceful places become a gateway to the unknown? In today's video, we are going to dive deeper into 5 of the most haunted churches in America. 1. St. Paul's Episcopal Church, Key West, Florida. St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Key West, Florida, is the kind of place where the living and the dead seem to coexist. Built in 1832, it is one of the earliest churches in the entire state. This is a church with high, white Gothic revival, and it is a haunted place. For those who are brave enough to enter, it is a source of chill and shiver. In the churchyard, there's a graveyard. Tombstones marking the graves of yellow fever epidemics and shipwrecks wayfarers. By night, the restless spirits can be seen strolling, according to the tales. Many residents and tourists have reported sightings of apparitions within the windows. This is often in the evening, just before dusk. The best known of these is the woman in white who has been spotted close to the altar of the church. Legend has it that she was a young bride who had passed away on her wedding day. Now she wanders here in the church, her veil flowing behind her, as though searching for her missing groom. The atmosphere inside the church is just as thrilling. Parishioners have reported feeling cold drafts during the heat of a Key West summer and hearing soft organ music when nobody is sitting at the organ. There was a story about a former rector who had passed but never left. His presence has been felt by so many, often described as a sudden chill or the sense of being watched. And as they say, stained glass windows glow terribly at night, depicting characters out of the Bible. Some witnesses have told of having seen faces that are not really part of the original design, as if these trapped spirits try to communicate with them. St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Key West is much more than a historic landmark. It is a spiritual crossroad where the past and present collide, and the veil between the living and the dead is thin. 2. St. Louis Cathedral, New Orleans, Louisiana. St. Louis Cathedral in New Orleans is more than just another historic landmark. It is a place where history and the supernatural combine. It is the oldest continually active Roman Catholic cathedral in the entire United States. Its spires have seen centuries increments, life, death, and all in between. Located deep in the heart of the French Quarter, the grand front of the church is certainly iconic. It is the stories that continue to terrorize any visitors that go there. With the cathedral dating from 1727, one would expect some ghost stories to its legend. Perhaps the most famous tale is of the Spanish priest Père Antoine, who served the church in the late 1700s. Known for his strictness and unwavering faith, it appears not even death could keep him from his duties. Locals say Père Antoine still walks the aisles of St. Louis Cathedral, especially during crisis in the city of New Orleans. He's been seen by witnesses as a ghostly figure dressed in the priestly robes deep in some little orison or at the act of lighting candles. His presence is often accompanied by the scent of incense. But Père Antoine isn't the only spirit said to linger here. Another well-known ghost is that of Père Dagobert. He was a priest who supposedly dared to go against orders and administer the rites by giving a proper burial to those who died in the bloody 18th century conflict. His spirit is heard singing hymns, particularly during the storm. According to the chronicles, in the time of French colonization, a young woman was caused to die by a broken heart after her lover had been killed. It is said that the spirit of her lover haunts the bell tower, and the bell starts tolling by itself, especially when someone comes to the church with a broken heart. Many visitors have reported a sudden drop in temperature, as if a cold hand brushed past them. It might sound like whispers echo through the big space so many times when it is empty. A feeling of being watched would often creep up, and sometimes shadows that fly by in the peripheral view turn out to disappear as one turns to see them again. It is as if at St. Louis Cathedral, you actually get to step back in time, and here, yesterday comes alive. There is one fact at heart. You are in a cathedral singing secrets as deep as the Mississippi River, which flows nearby. 3. Holy Trinity, Church of Brooklyn, New York. The Holy Trinity Church in Brooklyn, New York, built in 1844, is the apex of Gothic revival and stands as a test of time from age and whispers of the unnatural. All these years, the Trinity Church has been building up the reputation of one of the most haunted places in the USA. Perhaps the most chilling story would be about the Gray Lady, who showed herself as a ghostly figure strolling from one end of the pews to the other during midnight. Reportedly, it was the spirit of a woman who died during the church's first decades. The rumored backstory is she was a parishioner who lost her child and has since been mourning behind the church's walls. And each and every time she appears, an icy chill envelops the area and the very faint smell of lilies. But it's not just the Gray Lady who haunts Holy Trinity. There is something or someone haunting all the underground crypts beneath the church, where several old Brooklyn families are buried. Those who work there swear that if you put your ear to the pipes, you can hear voices whispering. Some visitors have also said to experience cold draft there. Visitors said to have noted the church organ playing by itself late at night, with notes taken to be so mournful as they resonated through the empty core. Many thought it was that of a former organist who was so devoted to the church that death could not silence his music. Stained glass windows that depict scenes of biblical grandeur at Holy Trinity also add to the church's haunted reputation. Parishioners claim there to be faces in the glass that do not belong to any known saint or figure. Strange faces watch with an intensity on the group below. Other than the ghostly legends, Holy Trinity Church is a place typical and even dear to the history of Brooklyn. A place where whispers of yesteryear still address their people walking through its reverberating halls up to this day. Some see it as a serenely thoughtful atmosphere, whereas to others it speaks of a reminder that the past is never really gone. Whether you personally hold firmly to faith or are more practical, it is certainly evident that there exists an eeriness that fills every corner of Holy Trinity Church. 4. St. Mary's Episcopal Church, Kansas City, Missouri. St. Mary's Episcopal Church is a striking piece of Gothic structure settled right inside the heart of Kansas City, Missouri. Founded in 1857, this church is among the very oldest in the area. But beyond the imposing facade and storied history, St. Mary Church is known for something more mysterious. It's one of Kansas City's most haunted places. As a refugee for the faithful, it seems some souls never left the church. The most well-known has simply been dubbed the Shadow Man. This dark, shadowy figure has been inwardly seen lurking in the dimly lit corners of the church, usually in the wee hours of the morning, when the building is practically empty. Those who have witnessed him describe him as an extremely tall, dark shadow that silently glides along the aisles and then vanishes just before anyone could get too close. According to theories, he is the spirit of a former parishioner, perhaps even a former priest of that church, who just will not find his rest in the afterlife. Another ghostly story is that of the church bell tower. The bell has been known to ring all by itself, sometimes in the darkest of hours when no one is there to pull on the rope in the tower. Some say it is the work of a long-dead bell ringer who continued his duties beyond the grave. And when this happens, it's usually accompanied by a drop in temperature, like the air around you is being sucked into a different dimension. St. Mary's does have its groaning too. Local residents and weekenders have registered complaints of the barely noticeable voices that whisper during services, and the odd sensation of a hand upon one's shoulder and whirling about to discover no one was there. The windows, which all too generally depicted biblical scenes in stained glass, were rumored to flicker into an indefinable light. Other people said they had seen faces in the glass that did not belong to any saint, just faces like yours or mine, sorrowful faces seeming to watch with an expression of being trapped between this and the next world. St. Mary's Episcopal Church is a small settlement for believers, with its community being strong and greatly hospitable. However, it is impossible not to feel as though there might be something else within when anybody visits this place. Whether one goes to pray, explore, or catch a view of the unknown, St. Mary's offers an experience both profound and mysterious. 5. First Church of Christ, Scientist, Louisville, Kentucky. The First Church of Christ, Scientist in Louisville, Kentucky, stands today as one of the few neoclassical buildings. Built in the early years of the 1900s, This building has housed within it the quietness of spiritual reflection. But beneath the facade of these unruffled environs lies a history of mystery and ghostly encounters that begs one to explore if the spirits still linger on in this famous place. One of the most famous stories was related to a ghost organist who continued to play the country church's grand pipe organ long ago. Soothing, haunting strands of hymns silently echo through the sanctuary in the middle of the night when the building is vacant. Very often, those who dared to open such nonetheless silent organ cases in this church found the keys untouched, as if music had never existed. Another source of the creepy stories centers upon the basement of the church. Many people mentioned how it would suddenly get cold, even during the hottest months of summer, for no reason at all, and having a sense of being watched. Others caught glimpses of dark figures that moved around in the dim light. The second haunting is the apparition of a white lady. Many people said to have seen her in the main hall of the church. Her visits are gentle, soft fabric rustles and a scent of lavender. Some say she's in search of something or someone lost in time. No one knows who she really is, but the sightings have been frequent enough that she is part of the lore of the church. However, the beautiful stained glass windows of the First Church of Christ, scientists itself have a story to tell. More than once, visitors have claimed to see strange reflections in the glass, faces that do not seem to belong to anybody else in the room, staring with such an intensity that it is very hard to shake off. Some say they are the souls of those who centuries ago were comforted by the house of worship and who are now forever trapped within the glass, unable to move on with their afterlife. The First Church of Christ is one beautiful, peaceful building. Somewhere deep beneath this sense of peacefulness lies another layer: mystery. You feel you are never too distant from the past and have an eerie sense that those who worshipped here before you still might watch from the shadows. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more creepy stories. Which of these churches is the most haunted, according to you? Let us know. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, sometimes places that appear peaceful and calm contain unexplainable mysteries within them.